Yeah, go do your thing, dude. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's been slowly climbing, so that's fun. All right, where we at here? So, so now, okay, we're in a good spot, I think. I was looking at the thumbnail for this when I put up the thumbnail for yesterday's stream, and it actually looks really good. Like I'm really happy with it. So I think I'm just gonna focus on this like back area. Yeah. Mm, I'll, I'll leave this alone. Okay, so next is turn the floor off there. Okay, so we want like maybe a blue light, I think. Just start taking these lights. Oop, Jesus. Start like sculpting these silhouetted buildings here with the light. So let's see what we can get. I'm gonna turn the fence off again for now. And I'll just put in a collection. Okay. Just so we can like see what we're doing. All right. Hey, what's up? Thank you. I think I might turn the scatter down. I think the further, I'll make it super low. Oh, I like that. Like I increased the distance, and then this edge of the building caught some of that light. So I kind of like that. Yeah, I like that. Is this shadow? Yeah, the shadow's not on. So it doesn't really make a difference. I think last time I was saying how like having the shadow on some of these lights in eevee doesn't make much of a difference. It just ends up taking up more compute power. So here you can see it's like barely noticeable. And I kind of like it with the shadow off because some of these other areas catch light in the non-realistic way. So it kind of makes it a little bit more stylized. I like that. I think I'm also going to add this light back here, like in between these two buildings, but facing this building or this way, just so then we get some more information. Because otherwise it's just pitch black and it doesn't read as well. Here we can kind of like ease in a little bit. And I'll tone the color down. It's like a darker purple, like a pastel purple. So now we're starting to get some really good gradients. There's like this like soft blue into this dark purple. And then I just love how this corner is catching some of that light. It's really good. Might be a little too bright. So that's actually a lot of there's a lot of stuff happening here. That's cool. So this front face is getting the blue light, and then there's like a shadow on the at the right angle, and then up above there's a light and then a shadow. So it's a really cool like almost quadrant of shadow and light. I like that. Thank you. Hey, Australia. Nice. What time is it over there? Is this a good time or a bad time? So I think I'm gonna repeat this pattern of from here forward, from here back, every building is gonna get a front light to give it that street light, and then a side light to separate it from the next building next to it. Because right now these kind of just blend in. 11 a.m. Nice. Oh my God. What a time jump. You're in the future. That always bugs me out. All right, I gotta see what else. So there seems to be a bit more uplighting, and then we started going into the background buildings. All right, so let's duplicate this guy. And this is like how I build a lot of these scenes out is like the buildings and the layout is like maybe 30% of the work, and then 70 or like 60% of the work is just setting up lights. And it's kind of like modeling, like a lot, like it's tedious, but also it's like modeling. When you're modeling something, it's really tedious at some point, but you just kind of zone out and go into like a Zen mode, and then you can work. Like you don't think about it too much. That's how I try to like putting the lights is fun because I'm just basically painting with color. So it's like coloring in the lines. Like the buildings are already there, and now I'm using light and color to like shape the whole uh, atmosphere and the relationship of everything. So that's to me that's fun. Bring in some of that. Like look at this building here. There's a good bit of blue, and then it gets dark at the corner, and that's just the distance. See, so that really does a lot. And I love how soft the fall off is. We can maybe boost the scatter as well, just to start getting some of that like fog, like that, which could be nice. Because after this building right here on the right, it's basically like this building for me. And so after this one and then this one, it basically stops. So once I'm done these two, I can start lighting the background buildings. And that's going to be these two, and I'll just need to nudge them over to the right a little bit. So because there's not really going to be any more information that you need to look down here, I think I can just let it be volumetric, just kind of ambient. And also between them, I know there's this rail here, which I'm okay not putting in mine. It just makes it hard to read, like Kairi and like Tetsuo. Because also there's once the fence gets turned back on, it just makes it very cluttered. So if I can help make these silhouettes read better by like omitting some detail here, I think I'll go with that. What do you think about the new Cyberpunk, the anime, the Cyberpunk anime based on the game or the game? I need to sit up. I can't see my keyboard. There we go. Actually, let me turn this light down a little bit. All right, that's better. Okay. That's cool. I like that even more. Nice. Might turn it so that I want to turn it so that the front of the building gets light, but then there's that shadow in this area. Because right now, like this, was just kind of washing it out. Just want to turn it, get a little bit more contrast. Yeah. I want to try to make it shadowy here, and I think it's this light. It's like spreading too much. So yeah, I think that helps kind of create more darkness there again. Mm. Yeah, the lights were missing. That's all right. Cool. And when I'm done with this, I'm gonna take all the lights that are looking at every specific building and parent them to that building. But then I can like move the buildings and the lights don't. It doesn't. There's not like weird shadows and stuff because I like animating them that way. All right, so let's start seeing what we got here. This building is good because you can get a lot out of it. Like you can get a straight up and down like that, or you can turn it and now you get a whole new silhouette. So this is a great model for something like this. You can like instance it too. So I'll do like an Alt D, rotate it, just to kind of get some variety there. So now I'm focusing on this layer. And you can see it kind of like repeats. So there's light and then there's shadow. Like there's shadow at the top. Then again, light and then shadow at the top. So that's going to be the pattern. And the best way to get that is to have a light that has a short distance. So then you can really sculpt where the shadows begin. So now, like this building, the shadows are at the top. And then what I would do is take this. So I'm going to do this, put it behind. And when I raise it up, you can see we get the dark values and then the light behind it again. I'm just going to keep doing that step by step until you really build up this depth. And that color, what's interesting is the color is like, it's like dark purple red here in the foreground, brown almost. Then it gets to blue, like a light blue. Then it gets into a pastel like purple, and then it's like almost a pink purple. So it's interesting, like the color progression. Maybe that's what would happen with like distance light scatter. I don't know. But it is cool to study. All right, so that's good. I might try to like get a more stronger lighting just so I can catch some of those balconies. I might even turn the shadow on. Yeah, maybe. The shadow kind of helps because it creates more interesting shapes, but it might also be distracting. Like I kind of like that there's like stuff going on here now. And the smaller I make the light, the harsher the shadows are, like the sharper they are. So there's just like more, it just looks like more going on. Like you don't always need a lot of polygons and like geometry to make it look busy. If you play with the lighting just right, you can make it look really, really busy. Just with lighting and shadows alone. I like that. I think I'm gonna roll with that. Like that looks cool, huh? Like look at that. Yeah, I like how that looks. Let me try a negative light. So I'm gonna put this up here and I'm gonna remove the scatter because I would like this top part of the building to be really dark. But so far, negative lights have not been working for me in newer. Okay. See, it kind of works. Let's see if there's a difference. Like, I think value-wise, there's no difference. It just gets rid of any potential highlights that are there. It just, like, evens it out. So, maybe I'll use that. It is nice to be able to, like, force a shadow where there isn't one. So, maybe I'll do that. Because I do want the top of this building to be in shadow. Oh, and okay, so turning off the shadow of the negative light does something too. But actually, turning off the shadow neutralizes it even more, like makes it flatter. I didn't think of that. So see, like with the shadow on, it just inverts it. So then like, I'm assuming what would be highlight is now shadow and what would be shadow is now highlight. But if I turn off the shadow, then it just treats everything as like one single wash. That's nice. Wow. I actually like that. So it still works. It's just kind of, I guess, maybe less broken, more predictable, which is not such a bad thing. And if I turn up the size, there is like softer fall off, which is nice. I like that. I'm gonna just make it a square. You know, one thing I wish you could do in Blender, which I don't think I don't think you can do yet, is like you can go here and you can give everything like a random color. But maybe this is just for me, but I wish I could take the light, and I know it's not like a piece of geometry or nothing like that, but I wish I could take this light and assign it a color, like in the viewport, give it red. So or like so all the regular lights are black like this, black outlined, and then the whatever light, whatever specific attribute I have applied to a different area light, it can be like a red outline or something, you know? Just so then in the viewport at a glance, and again, this might be a specific thing for me, but I would like to know which of the lights of all the area lights is a negative light versus a positive light, or it has some other type of distinct attribute. That would be really cool. Like you can still select it, it's still gonna be orange, it's still gonna have this like hover over thing. But I don't know. I feel like that'd be useful, right? Because I'm sure I'm not the only one who's doing like specific lighting like this on their scenes. I'm sure other people are using area lights and whatnot for different things. Love your video about tutorials and the creative pit you can get trapped in. Thank you. Yeah, the video seemed to do really well. I think it just caught the right audience, and yeah, it was um it was just something I was thinking about for a while, and I figured I need to like kind of say it. And one of the things in the video I mentioned is more like artists, and I mean, I guess I've kind of done this, who like not just release the tutorial but give you all the assets. So then you are almost tempted to like skip the tutorial and just get the asset, which is, you know, sometimes just handy. But I've seen artists who are like standout artists, and you probably have seen them online too, whose style is like immediately recognized. And then they'll either make a Patreon or a course or tutorials or whatever, release the assets that they use to make their work. And then, I mean, almost like you can predict it, other people are just going to make artwork with their assets following their style, and it's going to look identical. So then you kind of have all these artists whose work looks a certain way, and then suddenly does this dramatic shift where it suddenly looks like just a copy of another artist. And like, I don't know, it's like pretty obvious. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It just I feel like that's not really helping anyone besides the person who's like selling the assets. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's nice to just make art and not have to like be worried that it's gonna look bad and know it's gonna look good. Like that's definitely a confidence booster. And I recommend, you know, you try that if you need that. But maybe it's just the people that I'm seeing whose style changes to look like somebody else's, and then it doesn't really change after that. And then they're kind of trapped because if they use any other assets, or if they download a totally different asset pack, and unless they do it in the same style that this other artist taught them, they're kind of like SOL. Like they don't know how to, like if you make a cyberpunk scene, you don't know how to make a fantasy scene. You know what I mean? Or you don't know how to make a daytime scene. Like a daytime cyberpunk scene is different. It's a totally different vibe and it's hard. Or just anything non-sci-fi, you know, maybe something realistic. So it's just kind of like you can learn from a tutorial, and you see people like learning from tutorials all the time. It's fine. But when you also get the assets, it's like makes it even more tempting to just like live in that world and not really venture too far out. Or even if you wanted to venture out, you have these assets that work, that look best specifically in this type of way. So then the assets themselves are kind of um, like beholden to this art style, and you don't know. It just feels scarier or hard, I guess, to try to do anything else with them. It's like the assets are made for that style. But in even in that video, my like I guess takeaway was to was like I can give you the buildings, I can give you the lights, I can give you everything. But what I think would be helpful, and I've heard other people say that this helps them, and I know this helps me, is to just like talk through in real time what you're doing and why. Like the micro decisions that you're making and why. Even in this stream, like I'm putting the light here as I'm talking. I decided to put this shadow here. And the reason is because I want the top of the building to be dark, but I also want the side of the building to be dark as well. When it was just here, like this part right here, it's like light, dark, light. But I want it to be darker. Like I want it to be darker. So then I just moved it over until it forced a shadow even more so there, you know? So now it like separates it even more. And that's just what I'm thinking, that's what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And and that's hard. That's actually really, really hard to talk about what you're doing, even sometimes because it's subconscious. Explain why you're doing it because sometimes I do stuff and I don't know why. I just think it looks good or it like scratches some itch. It is harder, but if you're able to articulate it, I think the people who are learning from you will also learn like much better. But it's hard and it's like boring and time consuming. All right, so I'm trying to like get this corner to be dark, but now it's like going into the building, which I don't like, but it does create a weird like graphical thing. It kind of looks like an accident, but makes it almost like looks kind of human in that way. Like if you're doing a drawing and you like smudge something by accident, you're like, ah, shit. I think in my other like Akira animations, like the one that's on my channel, if you look hard enough, if you pixel peep, you'll probably find some things that look a little off or um, like Z fighting or something random like that, or lights that are clipping through something else. I'm sure you will. All right, well, I'm pretty happy with this negative light here, this shadow. It worked pretty well. So now, let's see. We can take maybe this one. Ooh, wow, look at that. Just from turning it, I got this like natural break of the light and the shadow. I like that. And then you can see the windows too. Like the windows aren't turned on. Maybe see if I can turn them on. Windows. What is the what is the window material? Tokyo glass bumpy. Hmm. Oh, okay. So that turned on light somewhere else. Let's see. I think it did. Okay, yeah. I might need to save. My scene is like slowing down. Scared. Been working on a big project, and that helped me get out of a trap. So thank you. All right, I'm happy to hear that. Happy to hear that. So do I need to like assign this? Okay. Hmm. I don't know if I like that. It's so weird. busted. Might go with that. That somehow looks a little bit easier to look at. Yeah. Where the hell is that image? It's like always gone. That's not it. Screenshot. All right. Let's put another light on this. Maybe there. Ooh, yeah, that's kind of cool. But I don't know if I like that. Like it's cool, but I don't know if I like the way it's like kind of like piercing her head in a way. I don't like that as much. The hell? I would keep like resetting the color. Mm. It's just like so fun to look at. I feel like I need to commit to something because I could just be sitting here all day with this. Yeah, that's cool. All right, so let's maybe move this over. I like the lines, like the lines here with from the windows and then from the stairs. It kind of like gives this building a little bit. So I like the movement, like the perspective lines there. So that's why I rotated it. I try to think about that. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. Might bring it up a bit and just this light here. Probably move it over like so. Oh man, that looks crazy. Let me turn the volume down. It's so fun. I'm trying to just like tuck it behind this corner because otherwise it'd be here. And I just want to like hide it a little bit. Just tone it down a bit. Ooh, I need to sit up again. I can feel myself slouching. Ugh. Let's see here. Yikes. Now we gotta start getting into the more like pastel-y pinks, pink colors. Maybe this one's even a little bit more blue. So the further back we go, we have to go start going from blue to like pink all the way to like a salmon color. So let's start introducing some of those colors in there. I think I'd like it to be like really, really vibrant. Like this already looks really cool and moody because it's like all you see is the lights. You don't see the building shapes at all. So that's already like helping us a lot. And all we got to do is start just like sculpting it with the lights and the shadows, and then it'll really come together. Duplicate here. Okay, so I think I might take the negative light that I have on this other one and scooch it over here. Take this one, dupe, put it on this guy. Yeah. So now it just kind of forces that shadow to be there. I'm curious what glossy would do. Nothing. Transmission. Okay. Hey, what's up, Chris? Ooh, okay, so this is interesting. First of all, gives it this like red color, which I don't know. I think it's because it's blue, so it makes it more red. So we can really like hue shift it if we want to change the color of the light. But if we go pure white, it'll go pure black. So if we can kind of like tint it by going into opposite direction. So I want it to be a little bit more like purple. I can try to find a color that's closer to that. But I also don't mind just having it be this like random, really sharp blue. Just makes it look more interesting. But also notice how if I turn off the scatter, it's like pretty washed out. But when I turn it all the way back on, it also does the light absorption there and gives everything around it kind of like this darker top. So that's didn't intend for that, but it does add like a lot of contrast, which kind of helps. So maybe that's, you know what I mean? Like look at that. Just that one light, it really just forces the tops of those buildings to be darker. So I know I might keep that. I didn't know that I was gonna do that, and this is one of those lights that I had all of these other settings turned down, so I didn't even notice it was doing that. The light would be cool if it flashed between red and blue, like cops were back there. Oh, that's an interesting concept. Even just like having it like be flashing slightly makes it look like activity, you know, like here. Just kind of having it change back and forth. Like if I just keyframe this. But that's cool. That's a good idea. Once I'm done building out the city and the lighting, I think and we're doing the camera motion and like animation stuff, I'll definitely try to remember to do that because that does sound like a good idea. Easy way to just add a bunch of life to a scene. All right, so this is leaking too much to turn it away. Like, look how much of a difference it is when I turn the volume scatter down. Up, down. Just that, it's one light. Just like, that's awesome. I just love being able to just like dial that in. And I think this needs to be more blue. Yeah, like something like that. It looks like part of the city's alive. Yeah. Also, I'm glad I'm not the only one who uses facades of buildings. Oh, you mean like just the outside of the building? I think that was something I did in like the streetlight scene, and I was like building the scene, and I'm like, hold up, you don't even see like the other half of the building. It doesn't need to be there, and it made it easier for like scene management and identifying like which building was which. In a when you kind of like zoom way out, it makes it easier to be like, oh yeah, it's that one. And then you can also like array modifier it, like stack it, so or like mirror it. You know, it's a lot more efficient that way. They crash my memory. Yeah. So look at the texture size because textures, in my experience, textures can really ramp up the VRAM usage, like texture sizes. That could be the perpetrator. That's what I found. I think I'm gonna take this and bring it over here as well, just to see like what that does. Bring the color down. Because it's like just pure, just like one color. I don't know, it makes it feel a little bit less interesting. So I'm trying to see if I can like just give it a very subtle like uplight or something. Because like any surface that I can put a light on that is within the camera view is worth putting a light on, especially if it just helps like make the city feel like a city like this, you'd have lights everywhere for from all types of things. And I think normally what most people do is they'll just put like an illuminated like texture that will just have these random lights everywhere. But then to me, that's too random. And there's probably a way to do that where it just gets you a really good result. But I like being able to control every single light and place it by hand, and then also like tweak every single setting of it. I feel like I learn a lot more that way. Like I think that's the value of doing things slow and long and like the hard way. You just end up learning, and it's like reps, and it's not like hard, I'm putting lights, and but it's good training. All right, so this one, kind of want to get the dark, because up here it was too bright. I don't want so much attention there, so I'm just gonna make it smaller, maybe like bring it over or something. I'll keep the shadow on it, and then I'm gonna duplicate it. So now we're starting to get kind of into the weeds with the lights. And this is when it really comes to life. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna make it more red. Because something about the foreground being red, like dark red, like burgundy brown kinda, it just it separates it. It separates it visually from it. It looks like they're at a building that's looking that's outside the city. I don't know. But I kind of like how there's just like how many colors can we squeeze out of this city and still make it feel like it's nighttime. It's like a exercise in color theory. But I also like this part right here. I love the pastel blue gradient, and then in the foreground there's this like really chunky, detailed, noisy thing with this like stronger lighting. It's like as the lighting goes further back, the gradients and stuff get softer, but as objects and lighting gets closer, it's like sharper, harsher, more um chaotic, I guess. And then at the very end of this, we're gonna put the fence on top. So that's really gonna. I don't want to fall in love with this too much because we're gonna just cover it with the fence. So I don't. I don't want to be too in love with how it looks, because I'll get upset and I'll want to not use the. I'll get upset and I'll want to not use the fence. I can see myself being like, it's okay, I don't want to use the fence. I want to turn it off just because I like this. So that's why I'm like trying to keep in mind. Or maybe I'll make the fence like a solid black silhouette or something, you know. But I want to keep it. I think something about making this, even in the painting, the original screenshot, the original frame, something about painting this massive cityscape by hand, every single window, every single like piece of dirt and like ambient occlusion and everything, pipe, and then putting a big fence in front of it. I mean, that's just like that's aura, you know. That's like you do this amazing thing and then you're like, I don't even care like that. I do whatever makes the scene look good. I don't care. So this is looking really nice right here. This play of like light, uh, light side, dark side. Dark side still has light, and then there's like shadows in between. I just love that, and especially this right here, this edge, and then there's like a gradient here. This is so fun to look at. I love this. This is fun. I did start limiting them by 1 to 2K for building in the distance, but I gotta run. Okay. All right, man. Yeah. Thanks for popping through. Think I'll work a little bit longer on this. Pretty happy with this foreground, so I'm gonna jump into doing all the background buildings. I'm pretty happy with how everything is looking. All right, so let's start. Let's see what we can get out of these. So, well, first of all, I already know I'm going to be doing some negative lights. Let me see if I can fix this guy. So some of the textures are missing, and that's fine. I'll just swap them in like that. Okay. So I'm going to duplicate this just so I can really pump up the emission. Make them super, super bright, but they're not reading. Okay, there we go. Yep. And then same thing with this. Yep. It's insane. The number you have to put in to make these back windows light up is insane. But it works. So one thing I've been doing with these two buildings, so these two buildings you can get on Gumroad. They're like, I think they're free or $1 or something like that. But taking them like that and then just making kind of like you make a whole building that way. Like placing them on each corner. Also, one of these sides I think has like red lights. Is this one? Yeah. Like this side has like a bunch of red lights on it, so kind of like that. I like that that's there, but it's unfortunate that it's not on this side. But it's okay. So when the buildings are this far away, it's really just about the lights, like the window lights. So you can play around with like different heights and stuff. So I'm gonna try to line up these lines so that it looks like one building. See. Yeah, like here doesn't you can't even tell how bright they're getting, but they're really like piercing through the fog the more brighter I make them. So if I make them 50, 150, like 150 and 200 basically look the same, but you just become more visible through the light, through the fog, I mean. This one, I don't know if I'll keep this building. It's kind of a weird one. Yeah, maybe I'll do this. I'll put this here. Bring this one forward because it does look cool. Like on a silhouette level, it looks cool. And it's based on like one of the past scenes. So it looks really cool. I'll just see if I can like tuck it somewhere. So it's not like dominating, but it has like a noticeable presence. Maybe I'll rotate it like this. Yeah, that looks kind of cool. Because I like this like side thing. Where am I getting my building textures from? Polyhaven? Yeah, Polyhaven has a lot of just like good concrete textures. So I used that. It's like a website you can get free textures at. They have a lot of concrete materials and things like that. So that's for me like that's perfectly good enough to use on stuff like this. Let me actually reproject it. But yeah, I think that's mostly where I get like this building is not Polyhaven. This is like a big, medium, small asset pack, the Tokyo assets. So that's where those are from. But everything else is like all of this stuff is Polyhaven textures. I think the window lights are like an image or something of like a cityscape. I think I have a tutorial on my page if you want to take a look at it of how I make the buildings and all that stuff. You might get all the info you need there. All right, so I like this one. I just like how, I don't know, it's got that gradient. It looks awesome. Like that looks so sick. It looks a little too important though. So I don't know if I like it. Yeah, I try to reuse a lot of assets if I can. Just saves myself time. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, like as I've been working on this scene, you can get a lot with lighting. Like I just need the buildings to make an interesting silhouette for me. I don't need them to look very different. It's like the same three buildings repeating, but because I'm like rotating them and they have like different things on them, and I'm mostly using it for silhouette, it just looks like a unique building every time, even though it's not. All right, so I think I'm gonna try to do this here. Let's move this back, give ourselves some distance. Then we can put this here. Gonna need to stretch this volume cube. Where is it? There it is. Because if the volume is here, like it's outside the buildings, then you can see the light doesn't scatter. But I need to move it back even more to encapsulate the whole city so that any lights in here can get scattered out. And I'm probably going to turn up, make it a little bit punchier. Maybe like turn up the exposure instead of like increasing the value of the power. I mean, that looks crazy. I just wanted to see what that looked like. All right, cool. So we're getting like, you can kind of see the edge of the light here. Like where it shifts from light to dark. That's the end of the light. And I kind of like it because it kind of gives it this natural limitation to the lighting, where the lighting from the street can only reach so far. So I like keeping it that way. I still want a gradient. Even though it's really bright back there, I still want a gradient because it will help just read the shapes of the buildings more. All right, so this has an array on it, I think. Yeah. I'll bring that up. Do like one more. Okay, so that's one. And that's going to be, I think like I'll have like two buildings that are just in the background. And then I will try to just put a couple buildings in front of them. So something like this. Even just like the window scale tells you that this building is, this one in behind it is like the biggest building ever. And then this one here is like, even though it's next to it in the scene, because the windows scale is so much higher, it looks smaller. I'm gonna turn up this building light, or I'm gonna duplicate it and then increase it, because I want you to be able to see it. See, they're there, you just can't see them when they're like 50. They're so dim. So I want you to be able to see them, because those little red lights, man, they really make a city come to life. And for the longest time, I didn't add them. I completely forgot about those. I'm gonna try to add these lights, these window lights on this side. So I'm gonna just apply it. Okay, there we go. So now we can get like the red lights there, and that's cool. So you can still see the slots and stuff like that. Is the shadow on this or no? Adding a shadow doesn't do too much. I'm gonna keep it off. Less computing. Oh, thanks. Do I have a Discord server? Yeah. It's probably not linked here. It's probably on either on my YouTube page somewhere, or it's in one of my like recent videos. It's in the description. I probably should do a better job of like uh dropping it somewhere, but it could be on my page. Let me see. Could be on my channel. No, I don't have it on my channel. Let's see. This video. Damn, dude, I need to be better about this. It's like not on my stuff. Sheesh. Yeah, let me find a link. Why do I have my prints and not my server? That's crazy. Um, is it here? Hold on. Now I gotta find it. Yeah, there it is. Copy link. Okay, see, try this. I don't know if that'll work. I just took that from one of my older videos. I hope it still works. Yeah, yeah, feel free. I mean, that's kind of that's what it's mostly used for. Is like people pop in, ask a question, and we have like, I don't know, I'm gonna say like 10 artists that are like Blender heavy like me and are always jumping in and helping people out. So yeah, definitely go there. So this is interesting. Like I last time I didn't look at like the stream analytics or whatever until after. And after of like an hour and a half of streaming, there was like 16 viewers at peak, which is pretty cool. I honestly was not expecting more than like 5. But yeah, that's that's dope. Like, and it's climbing, which is insane. Oh, well, that's awesome. That's good to know that it's like pushing it to the front page. Do we all do Blender here? Yeah, I'm curious. How many people here are like just kind of artists or yeah, what yeah, into anime, into Blender, into 3D, into drawing, painting. I'll say this about myself. I mean, I primarily use Blender now, but I I'm originally I was mostly a digital painter, like concept art stuff. And I still like to do that every once in a while. I still love to just like hop into Photoshop or I'm trying to learn Affinity now and just do some like quick sketches and stuff. Maybe one of these streams I'll do some like digital painting stuff because I do like doing that. All right, so I really like this gradient. I'm gonna try to maybe. Mm, I like this gradient a lot. Oh yeah, I need to put something in front of this building here. Let me grab this guy. Learning, cool. Learning. Art is one of those things, like, I've always heard that art education is always a good thing to teach or just to, like, um, provide because there's always going to be someone learning art. It's one of those things that, like, everyone wants to pick up at some point and try out. It's definitely, I definitely just constantly see people who are like, yeah, I'm learning, like, got any tips and tricks and stuff. So, and it's always changing, like how art is made, what is art, all that stuff. So, oh, this is nice. I think it's a little too. It's like a little too dark. I want it. Um, I don't know. Maybe I gotta go brighter because I kind of want to push it back a little bit. Something like that, maybe. I like one. Yeah, I don't like the back. The backlights is just a straight like line. I don't like that as much. So I'm gonna see if I can work with this. Kind of like have it be here. Have it get some. I need to push it back more. I also don't like tangents. You see how like this line right here lines up with the top of the building. That is awful. I need to break that. Can't be having that. So yeah. Trying to figure out how to put that building in there, but still have it feel not like it's super close. It's possible that I just need to remove the building altogether and not deal with it. But I do like the shape of it, like the silhouette of it is cool. I use Blender and Unity. Oh, nice. Blender and Unity are very similar, to be honest. Like, if you can learn how to optimize your scenes in Blender, you will Whoops. What the hell just happened? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, if you learn how to optimize your scenes in Blender and then how to like light bake, all that stuff transfers perfectly into Unity. So very transferable. Even eevee, like the way eevee looks, has like a limited render. It's kind of like the render pipelines in Unity. I think I might just go like with this. Yeah, I think let's do like a sideways guy. I don't know. I just keep looking at it, man. I don't know. I don't know if I like it. It's weird. Like it looked really cool at first with the gradient like that, but it's like creates this harsh light like cutoff. Maybe I can stick it over here somehow. I could try like putting it here. I don't know. It does like break up the stuff a little bit in a good way. Maybe I can put it here. Kind of like merge it like that. Yeah, I might just do that. Because I don't want to like spend too much time messing with this stuff. I want to like feel like I'm almost done. Godot. Ooh, that'd be a good one to learn. Tested those AI modelers already. They can't do UV mapping, and the meshes they generate are very messy. You mean meshy? I'm sorry. Uh, even a simple shape. Yeah, I don't know, dude. The AI stuff is so like just tiring. I just try to ignore it. It's hard. Like literally my inbox is just flooded with like companies that are like, "Hey, we love your art. You want to try out this new AI capability?" Like sometimes it seems cool because it's like, "Oh, it's a video editing tool. Like I could use that." But then it's like the focus is on their AI feature and I'm just like, "Duh, damn it. I would have definitely considered it like truly if it was just a thing like just an art editing or just an art maker." But now it's like they just shove their like AI stuff into it and then now I don't want to work with Drew. Like God. Yeah, I don't know. It sucks because like there's not a lot of ways to make money as an artist besides like this, like content and doing interesting stuff. Um And if you're shy, like if you don't want to like make content, like, and you're not living in a place that really has a lot of access to like communities and stuff, you're kind of screwed and you kind of just have to do what you can to make money. So I get it. Like I get if an artist ends up taking that AI deal or whatever, it's just like I mean, I get it. Like it's hard. At the end of the day, you need to like pay your bills and stuff. But it just sucks because like literally, why doesn't like I mean, Blender is not, wouldn't do it, but like, I don't know. I would do like a $10 ad deal for just like a pen. I don't know, something random. I would rather do that than sell out my whole audience because it's not like like I've seen the comments of people being like the artist is selling out. And in a way, like, I don't know, artist has to sell something because they need to make money. But like I don't think you're really selling yourself, you're selling your audience because you'll lose followers, you'll lose like people's respect, and I think that is that's like worthless. I mean, valueless or invaluable, not worthless. I think that's invaluable. And that's hard to get because like once you break the trust, once you break someone's trust, it's hard to get it back. So you just have to have this. You just the thing that I think every artist would want is like let's say you have 80,000 followers, and if every follower gave you $1, that would be like a year's worth of salary. You know, you could live off of that. But no, but that's not gonna happen because like maybe half of those are bots or something. But like even 16 people that are watching this right now, like that's $16 if everyone gave me $1. But and if that happens like every day, you know what I mean? Like it's like you can have a lot of followers on Instagram and it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. Instagram doesn't pay you. You're just posting content on their platform. They're getting ads. They're giving you ads. They're selling ad space. But artists, like as soon as they try to do that, it like frowned upon. Um, but yeah, like I mean, with artists, they just count on their fan base to keep them funded, buy their prints, donate them, whatever, buy their stuff. And if no one's if you have like a massive fan base and they're not engaging with you, they're not like buying your stuff or anything, and then they on top of that like criticize you for taking any type of ad deal, it's like what are you supposed to do? You can't do anything. Please sell your soul. I feel like it's mostly connections if you want to get gigs. Yeah, but I think like for an artist, you know, it's like what if you just want to be an influencer? You know, what if you just want to make money being an influencer, like an art influencer? People do that. There's art influencers out there, like people who review things and whatnot. Or their side hustle, or that's some of the things they do. Like I think it would be fun to review an asset pack or like a Blender add-on or something like that. I've reviewed an asset pack before, these guys that made like an Arctic base, and I reviewed it, and it was fun because I got to like make a project with it. Like I really like reviewing and testing stuff because I use so stuff already, and I like to test it, and I like to be like really direct with what I think about it, and I like to be honest. And because I mean I've gotten burned by buying an add-on or buying an asset pack thinking it's gonna solve my problems, but then it ends up I just get sold on the commercial of it. I get sold on like the reel or whatever, and the asset is actually like 4K textures, high poly, you know, or it's just like geometry nodes galore. So it's like, okay, I can't really use this. I thought this was a simple drag and drop thing, but it's like way more complicated than that. Um, and it, you know, and like that's not anyone's fault, but if there was like more reviews or something I could find around this specific thing that I could learn about it before I buy it, you know, like learn it before you buy it thing. I would like to do that. I mean, Blender community is a niche already, and to do like reviews on like Blender add-ons is even harder. You'd be surprised by how many add-ons don't really have like good reviews. They have tutorials on how to use them. They have some documentation on how to like install them and all, and like maybe even like not shilling, but like talking about why it's great, but not someone like just using it, someone that's like a layman or a student who uses it and it's like, yeah, this is hard or this sucks or whatever. I don't know. I feel like all that's the reality of like using these tools is sometimes they're hard and sometimes it's like a whole new workflow and it's not for you. But unless somebody shows that, then you're not gonna know. So that's the kind of like I think reviews I think would be valuable, and it would like help developers because it would give them feedback on like how to make things more user friendly. It would help the community because it would kind of say, hey, here's what it is and here's what it's not. And if you like this kind of, you know what I mean? Like it would just give you more of a heads up of what to expect. And then also it will make the developers' lives easier because Like if you're selling a product and then somebody is like misled by it because whatever for whatever reason, then they're going to be mad at you and you don't want that. They're going to be like, this product stinks, it doesn't even work or whatever. And it's just like, yeah, when you're frustrated, you just will blame anything but yourself. And I get it. So I think there's probably no money in reviewing people's add-ons that are already like $10, but it is good to do that. I think so because I there's a lot of asset packs and add-ons I would have loved to see a review on. I just want to know about it. I don't want to know about it in like this like cherry picked like commercial way where it's like they're trying to sell me on it. What is it actually like? I want to know about it from somebody who's not affiliated with the product, um, and just tell me straight like what is it? What does it do? How does it work? All that stuff. I would like to make content like that. I think that'd be really useful to some people. On X, I was trying to find experts on storyboarding, and 99% are storyboarded. Yeah, that's a bummer. I think a lot of the storyboarding people are just like in studios or they're keeping to themselves. Like you're not gonna, yeah, yeah. That's, man, that's. I don't want to like we're going a whole rant, but that's one of the things about like wanting to learn art or wanting to learn something is that the people who are really going to help you and they give you the value are nowhere to be seen. But then there's going to be some like shady dude in a trench coat who just shows up uninvited and is like, I'll sell you something that'll give you the answer. Oh, you're stuck. I can tell you're stuck. You need an answer. I'll sell you. I'll give you the answer if you just follow me down this like dark alleyway. And it's like, no, can you just tell me? Like, and then they tell you, and it's like some chat GPT thing. It's not even like real or bespoke or like actually applicable. So, yeah, that's the other thing that's like tiring about looking for art help is like 99% of them are just trying to sell you something. I just got an ad. Oh, I'm sorry. I actually have ads on my YouTube videos and stuff, but I don't I think it'd be cool if I could disable them and then do something else where because I've been considering doing like memberships, but if I can do like or I can just like maybe stream on Twitch or something where it's like people can subscribe. I know people can subscribe here on YouTube, but you don't get like, money for that. But uh, if there's some way where I could like disable ads and then do something else to get some like passive income through streaming, that would be nice. I don't know what that would be though. I don't know if there's like a natural thing, kind of like subscribing on Twitch, or if there's like I need to enable something on my end or activate something. I don't know. I'll probably look into it like once I'm off stream later. Sorry about the ad though. Ad company don't give a fuck if you use AI or not. So the floor for demand is raised exponentially. Yeah, that's true. I still find it easier to make textures in Photoshop than Substance. Okay, well, you're a Substance god, so not all of us know how to use Substance or even can afford it. Like I think I was watching a I like Substance, don't get me wrong, it's good, but it is like it costs money. That's the one part that sucks. It's like Adobe. And I mean, I guess if you got Photoshop, you got Substance, but like it costs money. And also it's just a whole new workflow. Like I would much rather just make like procedural textures in Blender because like I'm already halfway there than try to do everything in Substance. Because ultimately I'm gonna export it from Substance and bring it into Blender anyway. So if I could just make it in Blender, um, so that's I'm waiting for Blender to add like Substance Painter style functionality, so then I don't have to learn Substance or pay for it. But that would be huge. I think they're actually building on something like that too. All right, I need to move this down a little bit. Some content creators create mini courses and sell them on places like Gumroad or Etsy. Yeah. Yeah, I would like to make a course at some point, but I don't know what about. And also, it seems like it would be a lot of work. A lot of work that like no one is seeing. I'd rather just work in the open like this. Um, but yeah, I mean, I've seen people sell courses and it does look like it's I don't know. No one really shares like how profitable it is, but it looks like it is. And it is nice, like a nice thing to just kind of have at any point. Somebody can, if anyone asks, like, "Oh, how did you do this?" Like, "Oh, you can just take my course and you can learn." I see you already have Patreon, which could add extra content there. Yeah, so I'll tell you a little bit about Patreon. I think I this is like my third attempt at having a Patreon, and well, like two and a half. So the first time I did it, I did the noob mistake of biting off more than I could chew. I immediately like um just started over promising and then just burned myself out and had to like stop it. So the second time I did it, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be super minimal. I'm only gonna promise people a couple things. But then you get like 20 bucks a month and it feels like, you know, it feels like what's the point? So then so then I started thinking like, okay, like I could post like weird, like unedited content, not weird, but like unedited, unrehearsed content that's more like stream of consciousness stuff on there. But then I started doing that and I also started posting stuff to YouTube. So I was like doing double duty and stuff that I was posting on Patreon, I thought sometimes would be more interesting than stuff I was doing on YouTube. And then I thought like, oh, why don't I just post it to YouTube as well? And then I had to ask. I felt like I had to ask, "Hey guys, is it cool if I post this stuff on YouTube too?" And they're like, "Yeah." A lot of people were like, "Yeah, I literally don't care. I just want to support you," which was like it almost like made me cry just knowing people are there just to support and like they don't care. That's insane. But I started posting some of that stuff to Patreon and to YouTube. But then I just kept feeling bad. Like I felt like I'm like robbing, like I'm like scamming or something. If I don't do exclusive stuff, like there has to be some exclusivity or something to offer on Patreon. Like that's just what I believe. So then I would start like dropping like asset packs and 3D scans and files and like project files for my whole Akira animation, like the first one, all of those project files you can get on my Patreon. Um, and I would always balance between like, do I need to lower the prices? Do I need to raise the prices? And then Patreon itself started adding all these like functionalities, which way like you could sell individual items, you could sell all kinds of things, and it just became so much about like selling and am I using enough of it? Could I be optimizing it? Could I be getting more out of this? Like I started thinking about that too much, and it really started to just like again weigh on me and just like make me overthink the capitalism of it all, and that started to put a strain on me. So now I want to like now I want to like just like shut it all down, just like reset. But I know that's probably not the right move. There's still people that join the Patreon. I think like every once in a while if I have a video that pops off or that like I post somewhere and it does really well and then the content for that video are on my Patreon, like a ton of people will go and like sign up, which is cool. Um I also have a ton of people that just follow me on there, like 700 people that follow me, but they're not like paying members. So that I don't know what to do with. Like, I guess it's good that people just, but like I get like no interactions on there. I get no likes, no comments. So I don't know. I've also had people join and then leave. So it's just like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like right now, it's good. Like having a Patreon is probably the most income I make doing anything. But I would like to explore other things. Like I don't want to like hold myself back. I want to see what else I can do, what else I can get. Um, like streaming has always been one of those things where I want to like stream, do the whole donation thing, subscriber thing, like, but I want to do it in a way that's fair, in a way that's like works for me, and I don't want to like again rope myself into this like obligation that like, oh, now that I've enabled like this monetization aspect, I have to really like make it worth their while. Um, I think that's like a constant struggle. But yeah, I don't know if that answers your question. All right, let's see. I think we're almost done here. gonna move this building so there's not like a tangent here. Move it up a little. Okay. I want to get it to be like brighter. Yes, like this. Yeah. I want to like push it back further. So I think that's gonna just have to be this stuff. I feel like I've undone a bunch of progress and now I'm like stuck again, which is annoying. Oh, you know what might help if I turn on the scatter for these? Yeah, like you see, when I bring them closer to the camera, like it scatters more, so it kind of re-silhouettes it. And I didn't even know I didn't know that was gonna do that. I just did it and then it looked cool. So now I'm like, yeah, you see how that works? As if I know what I'm doing. Oh, that's really cool actually. I would like to, yeah, like separate it here. Okay, that's looking kind of good. Can I rotate this? Can I get some more variety out of this thing? Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing anything right. I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm caught up. I'm good. I'm good. I need to lock in anyway. All right. Let's just try something really bright. 500. I think that helps push it back a little bit. I don't know if this is gonna work. This thing. Maybe here. Maybe something like this. Actually, that works. That works a little bit better. Yeah. Because I did want something with this like color down here. So I'm gonna try to duplicate it and then bring it over here as well. Yeah, that works. Yeah. Sweet. Okay, I think that gives us like that color. Oh, there's a tangent. Okay. Yeah, that gives us that color. I wanted that pastel kind of color. What if I turn the volume scatter up to 2? Will that like do extra work? If I make it like 20? Oh, I guess it kind of does. That's cool. Jeez, dude, eevee's wild. Just the fact that you can force something like that to happen is insane, dude. Like cycles could never, but honestly probably would work in cycles. But that's just that like the fact that you can put in a number, that's cool. I've actually ran into a couple instances where I try to just manually put in a high value and it doesn't take, but that's fine. Okay, there we go. I really want to make this building work. So if I can't, I'm just gonna duplicate the duplicating. We're turning it down. Maybe turn the shadow. No. Do something like this. Let's turn the volume off. Ooh, yes. See, now we get like light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. Look at that. That is awesome. And all of this is once we start doing compositing and we do like the bloom, yeah, it'll really, really come to life. I've also been messing with like noise over top of the bloom. So that will have to be a next time stream thing. But this, I mean, we've made a lot of progress for real. I'm really happy with how much this is basically done, like for real. And I'm okay with like keeping this mostly like this, you know? I'm okay. Just gonna make it bigger. I might have to increase the exposure on this to make it really like, or turn up the volume. Maybe even turn this up. Yeah. Yeah, something I think is happening with the volume distance, like it's not reading it as much. So it doesn't have to be as bright. I'll work on that another time. Because like see when I take the light and move it further away, you start getting this like checkered effect. I think it's just reaching the limits of the view. So even though there's more volume back here, I mean I could try applying the scale. I don't know if that'll do anything. But yeah, this is like the limit. So I need to extend the limit or just I can use this as like a natural limitation point. I'll do that. I will work within the limit. Whoa, look at that. Look at that building now. Because it like broke into it like that. Okay. All right. So I think maybe like a building with like a spiky thing here and a building with a spiky thing here. So let's see if I have something like that in the asset browser. In my many buildings. I guess this one is kind of like that. This one I'm using. So I can use maybe this one. I think all the materials are botched on this too. Make local. Okay, that does not. Make instance real. Okay. And I will get rid of this. And I will take this and join it. Bro, way. Okay, I'll just parent it. Gosh. Okay, now I gotta make local. This new stuff with like, I don't like it. I mean, it probably makes the scenes much more optimized, but I don't like it. Make local, is that not what I did? Make local. I'll do selected objects. Make it editable. Okay. And materials. There we go. All right. So this is not going to work. This concrete needs to be replaced with another concrete. And this needs to get replaced with the concrete. Select, assign the windows. Give them lights. Gonna have to really crush those lights. Otherwise it won't work. Nice glow in the city. Thank you. I've been chipping away at it all evening. It's finally doing its thing. So I'm probably gonna put this like up here. Or maybe like put it sideways. Like this. So that's like right there. I just need to increase the lights by like a ton. Oh wait, no, that's not gonna be it. Emission? Nope. Oh, it's this. Skadoosh. There we go. Just go like super high up. Yeah. Cool. I might even add like these windows to something else here. Like here maybe. Just to make it more interesting. Might put it here. I don't know. I don't know, that might look weird. It works. It works. Yeah, I just want like another building here. Just for variety. Yep. All right, so I'm gonna try the negative volume light thing on these upper areas. We'll just try it. We'll see what happens. If it doesn't work, it's fine. Okay. Well, where is it? It's this one. So let's bring it over. Probably gonna have to really crank the number on that to make it work. Make it like notice through all of this stuff. All right, let's see. Okay. That kind of works. This scene is like 90% lights. What if we increase the exposure? Whoa, nice. That does something. Wow, that's cool. That's good to know. Oh, we can like really kind of fake it. Ooh. Whoa. That's nice. All right, let's see if we can like localize it. Turn to glossy. So it has to be like facing the camera. If it's turning this way, oh no, that does work. Oh, it's too far. I think the volume kind of gets in the way. Because now it's closer, and now the volume, because the volume limit, so the further away it is, yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. What do we think about that? The closer I move it to the camera, the more it impacts the volume. So here it's like all the way up here, but it's closer to the camera. So that means the volume is being absorbed by the light and kind of like fake it. So if I do a different color, like purplish. I'm gonna do 0. I want to like make it subtle. I don't want it to be too strong. Putting it kind of in this corner is good. Like right here. And then let's see if we duplicate it. Put it somewhere else. I'm just like kit bashing these buildings just to make it like break up the, give it some variety. You know. Okay. Hey. I think I'm happy with that. Whoa, look at that. That's actually kind of cool. It's offset a little bit, so it's not all the way poking through. That's actually kind of a weird effect. I might keep that. Let me see if I can, like, oh no, it's the same. Okay, happy accident. Another happy accident. I love them. I live by them. Look at that. It like creates this gradient, like this like hatching effect. I could see like someone being like, whoa, how'd you do that? Did you do this advanced thing? And I'm like, nope, it's literally just geometry clipping and it happens to be slightly off. And that's it. Wow, I love that. That's really a cool effect. Huh? Whoa. Wow. That, I don't know why that does so much. It makes it look like there's like stuff like in the air that's obscuring the lights a little bit, or it just makes it look a little bit more different. Like that. Look at that. Now you're getting like variation in the windows and it's the same building. Literally just like clipping through itself. And that's why some parts are, I think my shoddy modeling is partially why it works. Because I made this building and it makes no sense. Well, that's really cool. I'm pretty happy with that. I love when this type of stuff happens. Like I love when something ends up looking way cooler because of just kind of like how like it's a mistake. Like the modeling was a mistake. The way I modeled it, I messed up. But that actually helps in this case. Okay, I'm gonna try to make it a little bit smaller. And then just like bring it up, I think, a little bit. Yeah, I really like the lights there. So trying to keep that, trying to keep those visible. Like this very small background area has so much more variety now than it did when we started, and it's the same buildings. I think this Z fighting thing really just like really did a lot, and then adding these two extra copies has just given it a lot more variety. And I got lucky that when I textured it, this side got textured, but then this side didn't. Like, didn't mean for that to happen, but I'm glad it happened like that because now I have two buildings that are the same, but they look different on either side, so I can rotate them and get more out of them. Pat Labor guy. I've heard of their music, but I don't listen to it a lot. But I do like synthwave. I just kind of go in and out of like go in and out of it, you know, like as a genre. But I've heard a lot of people mention that artist, so I might have to check him out now that you mentioned it. You brought it back into my memory. Oh, what's up, Ask? Dude, it's great seeing you, man. Ask is an OG. Things with window textures. I used to mix them up to to remove the pattern they create far away. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and you're kind of seeing that here. There's like this like repeating pattern, and I don't like that, so I'm gonna try to break that up a little bit. I think this is like it's all it's like this. That's why it's a bunch of like array modifiers. So that's why. So maybe if I duplicate it and then like rotate it around, we'll kind of get a little bit different here because there's different textures on it's like two-sided. So maybe that helps. And I can kind of like offset it in a way. So it makes it a little bit interesting to look at. You know, that kind of honestly, I'm glad you called that out because that prompted me to like want to do something about it. I'll put this one lower because the windows are bigger. So then it looks like it's closer to the scene, to the viewer. And then I'll put this one behind it so it looks like it's further back. Yeah, that already just does a lot. We love Z fighting in this house. I always think of Dragon Ball Z. The Z fighters. The Z fighters are in the house. It's just geometry like crashing out. And then you have the Dragon Ball Z solo music playing in the background. Oh, thanks. Yeah, yeah. I think we're done with this, to be honest. I think we're done with this. Let's see how it looks with the fence. I'm really happy with it too. I'm really happy with how much I was able to get done. Like the whole point of me streaming this is A, for y'all to see it, and then B is to like hold me to it, like make me work on it. Because I can lock myself in my room and work on it, but if I can also stream, I feel like y'all are keeping me accountable and and to be honest, like I work pretty fast and I just it just feels like it feels like I'm working slow. It feels like I'm not making any progress until I look back and I see, oh, I only streamed for like an hour or so, so I really made a lot of progress. We love Z fighting in this house. We do. All right, let's get this guy. I'll see if I can get one more out of him, out of this guy. Because I've been doing stuff like this where I cross them into each other, and that makes kind of a cool building design, you know? Like that looks different. Like it almost looks like a design that could work too. So now there's this negative space here, but there's actually lights there, so it's not, I don't know. Yeah, I'll that looks weird. I don't like that at all. Um, that also looks weird, but yeah, I'll stop messing with it. So let's, I mean, jeez, really, we're done. Look at all those lights, man. Jesus. Did I save it? Yeah. Long time no see. Yeah, dude, it's good seeing you. I always think of your like profile picture doing this. I always just see that. Um, I could swear I saw Ask here last time. Ask has come through the streams a long time ago when I used to do them. He used to pop in, and I think you're on the Discord too. Are you not? Neat. We love Z fighting. Oh yeah, I read that. But that is funny. I just love it like all caps. Can't remember the last stream. It's been ages. It has. It has been ages. I'm just sitting here now, just catching up on chat a little bit. But yeah, this scene is pretty much done. Let me just do a quick test on the animation. It's so like choppy. That helps. All right, let's see. So one thing I haven't done and I probably will do is I'll also animate the buildings to separate a little bit so that there's more like more parallax. Because right now everything starting from this building here is like on the same level. It's not really moving too much. These background buildings are further, so they're separating a little bit, and the fence is doing a lot. But I almost want like the characters to move stuck with the camera. So let's pull up a timeline here. So I want the characters, I'm gonna just parent everything to this wall here, just so I know that it's connected. And if I put a keyframe here and then at the end, let me go into 3D view here so I can see what I'm doing. And at the end, it's just a little bit closer, like this. Moving it a little closer like that. All right, let's see. Watch, it's gonna look crazy. It's a very subtle effect, but it's gonna look insane. I think, I hope. I think it's too subtle. Yeah, I think it's too subtle. I mean, it's good. And I like that the camera kind of pans up and you see all the stuff up top. But it's too subtle. Like what's happening is the buildings are going down and this in the foreground is coming up. So there is that vertical parallax. This is a really beautiful shot. I'm really glad I committed to doing it because this was probably the most intimidating shot, I'll say that. There's like other shots that I'm excited to work on, but this one was the one I was kind of putting off because I was just worried that I was like it's a lot of buildings, it's a lot of light, and it's just gonna look bad. So one thing I might do is I'll also bring these guys. So let me parent it to this. I'll parent these lights to this thing, to this thing. Uh-oh. Oh my god, I thought it was gonna crash. I should save again. But what I'll do is I'll also animate these. And then have them move a little bit forward. Okay, let's see how that looks. Oh wait, I need to set the to be vector. I could probably just make it so that it's always vector, but that's fine. Yeah, this is gonna take some work. I mean, it looks good, but it could be better. And I think I'm just trying to do too many like fast things. Yeah, that's the moving the buildings back is gonna be one of the things I'm gonna do for sure. I was just wondering if there was something I could do in the foreground. Like the super far buildings, the ones that are like pink, those are gonna be moving up slightly. Um, yeah. Yeah, everything is gonna be moving away from itself, so then it'll kind of create this like dolly zoom effect. But at the same time, um, this looks crazy, huh? Look at that, it looks just wild. One thing I've been wanting to do is to put on like a VR headset and like get into one of these scenes. That would just look trippy. I don't know how it would handle like the volume and stuff, but it would be really fun. Oh man. I miss looking at this kind of stuff. I took a break for a while, so I missed it. Yeah, I'm not gonna get too into the weeds with the animation right now. I'm probably gonna just honestly reset the keyframes, and then we can do that next session. So I will reset the keyframes here. So I'll take this, and we'll go through and like properly parent all the buildings, all the lights, because that's something I'm gonna want to do anyway. And yeah, so I don't want to like get into it right now because I want to like fresh mind, ready to go, and at least like in the next stream, you'll see how I do all my animation and all of that like tweaking, all of that tweaking out. And then basically you'll see 3 streams where it's like building. Well, not I didn't really build it in the stream. The first stream with the stuff was already made, but you will see kind of like a progress. It's like it's the same stuff over and over again. It's laying it out, setting up all the lights, animate, lay it out, set up the lights, animate, and yeah. So I'm gonna call it a stream, call it a night. Thanks again for hanging out with me, y'all. It was fun. And I'm just happy that I was able to make progress, and I can't wait. This progress is inspiring, and it makes me excited to be done with this shot, which is going to be a huge thing. But then it's going to make me it makes me even more excited to show you the next one, because the next one is going to be even cooler. And then I think at some point I would love to show you some of the finished ones because they're also insane, and I think y'all will go crazy. All right, I'm gonna work on making the stream better with like more things. I don't know what that would be, but more stuff for y'all to do. Anyway, don't even worry about that. All right, cool. All right, y'all. Have a good night, and I'll see you next time.